Aubrey, we have amazing slangy vocabulary today that will definitely boost our students' speaking scores.
Yes, you guys need some slang, some informal vocab, especially on part one, part two. And today's vocabulary is so easy to slide into just about any answer.
Oh my gosh. We structured this so great, guys. All of today's slang can be used to describe people. So it's this whole vocabulary cluster around this topic. This function that you have to do all the time on IELTS speaking. Speaking part 1, describe your family and friends. Speaking part 2, describe your best friend in high school. Like, this vocabulary is incredible, and I promise you, you will not learn this anywhere else.
Yes, absolutely. And even if you're asked about a restaurant or museum, likely you're going to talk about the people that were there with you or
Yeah.
describe yourself. This is such useful vocab to boost you above that 7 for vocabulary to improve your overall score. I can't wait for this. It's going to be great.
So many fun words today, guys. So, the reason why we are doing this episode is because we got a fantastic student question. Aubrey, can you read that question, please?
Yes, this was from Moro. And he said, "Hi, Aubrey. I got this email. Said, ça va, which means how you doing in French. First of all, I think IELTS Energy TV is as awesome as All Ears English. I
Yay.
agree. And thank you for the compliment because
Thank
All
you.
Ears English is amazing."
Ooh, ooh.
Then he said, "You and Jess are so funny." Well, thank you. That's actually the
Yay.
highest compliment you can pay me
It
for
is.
someone to
It
say I'm
is.
funny. I
For
love it
both
so
of
much.
us.
Exactly. So thank you. And then he said, "J'ai une question pour toi," which means I have a question for you in French. "I was watching an episode of Young Sheldon the other day, and here is the dialogue. Don't be such a lame-o. I'm not a lame-o, I'm a fun-o. So you're in? You betcha." I love this. He says, "I got the
So
context of the
funny.
situation, but can you explain this O? Where does it come from? Do you use it? Thanks, Moho." It's such a good question.
Such a great question. And I think people characterize Australian English as having a lot of slangy words that end in O, like abbreviated words. But
Mm.
we actually do this in American English as well. And the words today, guys, it's not just like specifically American English. You can use these slang terms in front of any examiner, and a lot of these guys are every country that speaks English will say these, right? Like weirdo and kiddo, these are everywhere. But we have to
Absolutely.
be careful because in that dialogue he shared, like, that is a native speaker making fun of an accepted word. Lame-o is an accepted word. We say that. However, we do not say funno. So it's important to know the words that we can use.
Right, this is a play on words, right? To
Yeah.
say lame-o and then add "o" to the word fun, but if you were to call someone a funno in one
Mm-mm.
of your speaking answers, the examiner would be confused, it wouldn't make sense,
Nope.
right? So this one, eliminate, but today we're going to share 8 words that you can add an "o" to that we do use all the time that's very native, natural slang. Add these to your answers on IELTS Speaking.
Yes. All right. So let's get into it, guys. We're going to teach you 8 words and give you quick definitions and examples. So let's get into it. Lame-o, of course, is the first one. So we're just adding O to the adjective lame, which is like not fun, kind of dumb, right?
I use
So
this most often if I want someone to do something with me and they won't. If I'm like,
yeah,
"Let's go swimming," and they say no, I'm like, "You're such a lame-o." So this would
right?
be great in an IELTS speaking question if you're like, "I wanted to go to this fancy restaurant downtown and none of my friends were up for it. They're such lame-os."
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Anytime you're describing a person as making the not fun choice, that
Right.
person is a lame-o. Use it to describe yourself. Be like, I'm not a lame-o. I mean, if someone asks me to go to a concert, I'll go. It's just that there aren't a lot of concerts in my city because there's an IELTS part 1 question about going to see live music. So you could say you are a lame-o, not a lame-o, easy to put in. Now, the next
Yes, or
one, yeah,
this might make me a lame-o, but and then share anything about
sure,
yourself that, like, other people might think is not fun. This might make me a
totally.
lame-o, but I just like to stay home and read all night. What's wrong with
I
that?
don't mind that. That's great.
Yeah.
Um, which makes me a lame-o, maybe, and also maybe a weirdo. All right, so the next one is weirdo. Weirdo, just calling somebody kind of weird. Anything that is a little bit strange, a little bit different, not normal, right? You can say someone is a weirdo. All right. So, Aubrey, do you think you are a weirdo in any way?
Sometimes. Yeah. Alright, let me think of an example. I feel like, I used to play, like, role-playing games online, and everyone who ever found out about that thought I was such a weirdo, and that so I'd stopped telling people because 'cause I'm like, "Okay, maybe this is a little embarrassing. Maybe"
I
no offense out there to all my, role-playing game buddies, but we're kinda weirdos.
Anything that's different or
Yep,
strange or not the norm makes you
right.
a weirdo. And guys, we are all weirdos in at
In
least
some
a
kinda way.
few different ways, right? Everybody's a weirdo. Nobody is completely normal. That's boring. It's more fun to be a weirdo. So use this to describe yourself, your friends, whenever you're introducing a strange or different characteristic. Okay, the next one, a creepo. So this one's like, someone that is a little bit scary, right? A little bit threatening, someone that is kind of gross somehow, right? That person can be described as a creepo. But again, I think we'll most likely use this in the negative sense, right? To say someone is not a creepo. To be like, I mean, I'm not a creepo. I'm not gonna take pictures of people when they don't want me to.
Exactly, right? If you're describing a favorite book, there are a lot of characters in the books that you could
Ooh, there
describe
you
this way,
go.
right? The antagonist was a total creepo, stalking
Yeah.
women, if it's about a serial killer especially. But I agree, Jessica, I think on IELTS speaking, you're gonna use it the most often to say you're not a creepo and then share something about yourself.
All right, so a wacko. This can be negative if you're describing someone as crazy and it's a bad crazy, but I honestly use it in quite a positive way. Kind of like weirdo, right? But a
Yeah.
little more weird. So wacko, it does mean crazy, right? But I like to use it in a good way. Be like, I'm kind of a wacko. I love tattoos and cover myself in tattoos. And I think that's a fun way to be a wacko.
Yes, I agree. And this is a great way to describe other people in sort of a fun, silly way. If you want to say, like,
Yeah,
my dad is such a wacko. He's always telling terrible dad jokes, right?
totally.
And it does mean a little more like crazy, but often we'll also use crazy that way just to say
Mhm.
someone's a little strange.
Yeah, totally. So easy to use, guys. All right, we have two more for you. The next one is so awesome. Rando. This is such native slang, you guys. So this is also, it's funny. A lot of these are describing like different sort of people, right? Strange and
Right.
different. So rando is short for random, but it's used to describe a person. So how do you use this?
I hear my teenagers use this a ton. They
Yeah.
will describe like, if I tell a dumb joke, they'll be like, "You're such a rando."
Yeah,
They use it
totally.
very much the same as, like, wacko, weirdo, just like, "Okay, you're
Yep.
embarrassing me," right? "You're a rando." And we can also describe experiences as rando, right? You could
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
like, we went to go to the movies and the theater was shut down. It ended up being such a rando night because we went bowling instead.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so hopefully guys, you are going to be telling stories about yourself and your life on the IELTS exam, right? Like we teach you. And these stories will be about interesting experiences. So this word should be easy to fit in as an adjective, right? It was sort of a rando trip. Like we didn't even really plan on staying that long, but we ended up getting a hotel room and staying for 3 nights. We hadn't even planned on it, but we had the best time. Yeah, super rando adventure, but it was awesome.
That means, like, strange and unexpected, right? Like,
Yeah.
we use random, but it's benign because I don't ever hear students use this. It's much more native slang, so squeeze this into your answers. I love it.
And we do have one more slang word that is super native and natural. But remember, guys, that these are slang words. So only use them on part one and part two, okay? Because these are definitely informal. And remember, you must use informal language in part one to show the examiner your range of vocabulary, okay? So that's why we're teaching you these words. All right, last word, Aggro. I love this one. It's short for aggressive. Okay. So to describe someone as aggro means they have this like aggressive, threatening energy about them.
Yeah, you might be describing someone at a store that you saw losing their temper or being really impatient about something. You say, she was totally aggro, yelling at
Yeah.
everybody.
Anytime, guys, that you're describing somebody as being angry and yelling, they are being aggro. Um, if you're describing your job right now and you're like, I mean, I love my coworkers, to be honest, but my boss is a little bit aggro and it makes the work environment a lot less enjoyable for me.
Yes, and you can see how not only is this just more native and natural, it kind of takes some of the bite out of it. If you said, "My boss is really aggressive," ooh, that feels really harsh and heavy. Aggro, it's
Mhm.
a little more fun, playful, like we're
True.
trying not to be too serious about it.
True. So guys, I want to call your attention to the last vocab episode we did. If you like today's episode on vocabulary, definitely check out IELTS Energy 1375, IELTS synonyms for sizes and amounts, because that vocab you can use anywhere on speaking and writing. So definitely scroll up, guys. Look for 1375, synonyms for sizes and amounts.
And if
All
you
right.
missed that one, hit follow because you might be missing lots of our amazing episodes. So wherever you're listening, take a second now to follow the podcast.
Yes, exactly. All right. Awesome. Thanks for listening, guys. And Aubrey, I'll see you on Friday.
Awesome. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.